And these lads have done brilliantly well to get to a final. They got further than we ever got, but some of the same patterns occur.
Welcome to The Big D Speaks for a more sombre instalment on this channel, post the Euros final yesterday. Obviously England were beaten 2-1, spoiler alert. The Big D got it wrong. The Big D thought England would win comfortably. Clearly that was not the case. There's going to be an inquest and a fallout because of the result. But time will tell on how that fallout will manifest itself clearly. Today we're going to be looking at the immediate reaction from Gary Neville, Roy Keane and the gang. And we are going to comment on that as well. And the Big D is going to give his thoughts and analysis on what happened yesterday in that final. Anyway, let's go straight to the clip.
Every single England manager has said the same thing. Every single England player has felt the same thing, because we've lived it out there on the pitch where we've been chasing around and our legs have gone, and we've ended up dying on our feet in the latter part of games whereby the other team looks stronger, and it's repeat. And these lads have done brilliantly well to get to a final. They got further than we ever got, but some of the same patterns occur.
Is that because of the nature of the Premier League and what I'm saying we as the crowds, as the punters, because we deserve a game played at a certain speed? Is that part of the problem, Ian?
I don't know, Mark. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to think about like the Premier League and when you look at the players we've got. You know, you look at Foden, Gay, Pickford, Saka, Mainu, Walton coming through, you know, Bellingham. Fact is, it's being an England fan, it's being a fan. That, you know, you just, like Roy said, you have to go again. You know, it's unfortunate, but like me and Gary was talking about, maybe the coaching, what we need to do to maybe get our players to be able to, in the moments, carry on playing. I thought that not having a focal point was very, very tough for us today, especially because no one could tell me we haven't got the players to play. Can't tell me we haven't got Bellingham and Foden and Mainu and Palmer and Saka. We haven't got the players to actually do this. We need to find a way to do this. And as much as we're despondent and it's very disappointing now, I look at that list of players and I think, okay, well, let's go again. And it's going to be very difficult because even when you listen to Gareth there, he almost was speaking like he's distanced himself from England already there. So we have to find a way to go again. And we have to make sure that our young players who are in that dressing room are feeling this, realise that, you know, they're the ones who are going to have to take up the next.
Yeah, it just went to 10. This is quite interesting. That team, all but one, played for Real Madrid or Barcelona. This team has started tonight. One plays for Barcelona, Yamal, and one plays for Real Madrid, Carvajal. Ian, it just shows that the DNA, because we're talking about clubs like Real Sociedad and Bilbao and so forth, that DNA of football runs very deep in La Liga. It's not just the super clubs at all.
It's not. Like you say, it's not just like they've just turned up in a tournament and all of a sudden they're playing great stuff. We saw Xavi and Iniesta and David Villa. We've seen what they were capable of and the way they play. They play under pressure. Even when they get pressure, they continue to play how they play because that's in their DNA, and nothing's going to change. What the thing is, the frightening thing now is that we've seen now they're producing these wingers now, so they can play and they can go direct.
Strange enough, one of the teams in Spain that doesn't play that way is Atletico Madrid.
Yes,
that's coached by Simone, who's a bit more different mindset and a different DNA.
Very different.
I haven't said that. Let's not get carried away with the possession side as well. They played Germany. Germany had a touch more possession, so they know how to win different ways.
Yes.
You know, that's a big plus for them, obviously.
I think there's a couple of things that were sort of slightly different. Usually you see a Spanish team playing a 1 in midfield and a 2 in front. That's how they've played for years. These played obviously a 2 holding with Ruiz and Rodri and 1 in front. And then sometimes you've seen Spanish teams play with a false 9 and not play with a centre forward. He's unashamedly gone with Morata, played him up top and said play every single game and wants that focal point. So it is a different type, and the 2 wide players are a little bit different than you'd expect as well. So it's a slightly different twist on a Spanish team, but most of these players have come through with De La Fuente in the youth teams with Spain for over the last 5-10 years. So they know him, they know his style of play, they obviously respect him a lot.
On top of all that, technically, whatever tactics or system they're playing, they can all deal with the ball. They deal with in tight areas. They know how to get out of situations. The goalkeepers are really good with their feet. They really started out the last few years, going back with Pep, with the goalkeepers he had.
Yep.
We can bang on and on about tactics, but as a wise man once said to me, good players win matches, don't they? We can actually talk ourselves into a hat. 2012 was the archetypal false 9, wasn't it?
Just want to interject there very quickly. I think Spain are a great team. Obviously, they've won the Euros. Brilliant. Congratulations to them. Fantastic. I think this final it wasn't necessarily a final that Spain won. this was a final, like the last Euros final, that England lost. The reason why Spain won yesterday was because they played their players to their strengths. They knew what their strengths were and they utilised them all effectively. They were very streamlined. I don't think Gareth Southgate did that with England. I don't think Gareth Southgate is the manager to utilise the strengths of this England team, because the attacking talent that we have at our disposal in that England team is phenomenal. And Gareth Southgate is a defensive-minded manager, so he's not naturally going to know how to get the best of those out of those attacking players. That is fundamentally the problem yesterday. But anyway, let's back to the clip.
Speak to international players about English players. This is a big chance. Yeah. I mean, if you speak to the international players who've got like German players or Spanish players or Italian players or French players, they do think that our players are good enough to play in their teams or in their football. They can't work out why, as a country, we don't play as well as we can do. It's a mystery to them as much as it is a mystery to us.
It's a mystery to the whole world.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But you can't get away from England's style of play. In every country, Argentina, Brazil, we're talking about Spain because they've won tonight. England were just, that was a chance of bringing it into extra time.
Yeah.
Every
Do you
club's
think Declan Rice should have done better with that header from that corner?
No, I think it's on target.
Is it the target, Mark? You're being harsh there.
I think you've been harsh. I think he's got a power.
Well, it was a question.
No, I have the job. I know. The job.
That's my job.
No, I thought he done okay. It was on target. And he got the rebound, so it wouldn't be too hard.
The first header you're talking about, Mark.
Yes.
I just thought the first one maybe just looks like he tries to sort of like guide it a little bit too much, and rather than just boom, one of those. Just. I mean, I'm not a header of a ball.
I
used to. Yeah.
Just not one goal in his career.
You look at Mark Gay as centre half. He's just done exactly what he should do. He's reacted. He's got it on target. And Olmo has made it unbelievable.
Oh yeah, almost done brilliantly there, has he?
You know, but we can't get away from the fact that they missed some chances, Spain, that they should have taken as well.
They missed
a step too far.
Yeah, tough game. You know, it's hard to put into words how we're all feeling right now, but yeah, tough game. You know, we done well to get back into the game at 1-1, and then we struggled to build on that really, and then I mean, to concede late on is obviously a really painful one to take, and yeah, I don't know what to say.
When Cole Farmer equalises, do you think here we go again?
Yeah, I mean, we've been coming from behind all tournaments, so we know we've got that in the locker. We know the resilience that we've shown, but yeah, ultimately we once we got back into the game, we didn't take the next step and go on to win the game, of course. And
did the comebacks over the last couple of weeks take their toll, maybe emotionally and physically? Did we see that?
I'm not too sure. I think in the first half, especially, we struggled really. Spain played well and had us under pressure, and we couldn't quite keep the ball like we wanted to. Second half was a little bit better, and then of course we got the goal, and we felt like we had the momentum, but we couldn't keep it, and then obviously we got caught with a cross there, and yeah, that's the final.
Does it feel like an opportunity missed? Obviously it does, but you also look at this as history made, a first final on foreign soil.
No, it's an opportunity missed. I think they're not easy to get to these finals. We've shown unbelievable resilience and character to get to where we are, but ultimately you have to take it when it comes, and we haven't done that again. So yeah, it's extremely painful. It's going to hurt for a long time, and yeah, all we can say is thanks to the fans, thanks to everyone who believed in us, and we'll be back.
Many of these players will go again, of course, but maybe not with Gareth.
No, that's not for now. That's Gareth's decision. He'll go away and take time on that. But yeah, it's disappointing that we couldn't win it for him. We wanted so badly to win it for him, so we'll see.
Thank you, Harry.
Just want to interject there on Harry Kane. I love Harry Kane. I think he's a great player. There was one thing he was doing though for England during this whole tournament, actually, and he comes deep far too often, which when Harry Kane comes deep, England lack a focal point up top. Now, if he'd stayed up top, because he's there to score goals at the end of the day and link up play, if he stays up top, gives the team a focal point, then they can knock it up to him and he can knock it down for the players coming on, like Foden or Saka or Bellingham. But time and time again, he kept on coming deep. And when he was deep, there was no one to pass to relieve the pressure for England. And it just happened time and time again, which was very, very frustrating. And it invites pressure onto England. So just little tactical nuances like that would just seem to be lacking a little bit for England. But let's continue.
The principles are the same. Stay wide. We see the defenders of England not really managing to cope.
We did hope that was offside. We hoped it was offside there, guys, but obviously it wasn't. And Karen, there was a moment in between those two goals at 1-1 when it felt like there was potential momentum shift, and the guys in the studio were talking about it as well. Were you surprised that England didn't make the most of it, take advantage more?
Well, it turned into a end-to-end boxing match, and it was counter-attacking football, and that's when you're at your most vulnerable. And I thought we went for it, but that was actually how we got done on the counter-attack. And for me, the most disappointing goal was the first goal, because it's the timing. Usually you come out after half-time and you're organised and you're set. So then we were always on the back foot. And yes, we've gone behind in all the other knockout games, but you can't go behind in the manner and keep fighting and fighting and think we're going to get through in the final. And that was disappointing. But I think everyone watching the game knows that Spain deservedly won it and they were the better team today. But honestly, I feel sick seeing the players there at the end. We were right by the England players, seeing them. I felt sick and gutted for them, to be brutally honest.
Of course. Look, some of those players were inconsolable, but guys, good, these players, and especially those two you can see there, Williams and Yamal, were just absolutely incredible. And wise beyond their years in terms of tournament football. So calm, as you saw in those goals combining together as well.
Yeah, very, very likely similar in the sense of Yamal, the composure, the experience today. I think today...
Is that mediator?
Because it's very difficult when you play against a team that doesn't leave you space, that makes it difficult for you. You need to keep trying to find the way you think you want to win the game. And those two really believe in that throughout the game and carry on this team in not only in the final but throughout the tournament.
That little one there's probably going to be in the squad next time, isn't he? My goodness.
We have him and Messi on the photo.
Yeah. A word on Rodri, player of the tournament, very quickly.
Yeah, I think it was key. The anchor, the leader in this team, allowed the fullbacks and the wingers, allow the whole team to kind of articulate very perfectly.
And we say goodbye to Navas as well.
And Navas, yeah, fantastic. I know that well.
Well, probably both, frankly. I think the players have got to take enormous credit for getting us to the point we did. But then when you're as close as that, you've got to take those chances.
What are you most proud of?
Just the way that they've fought, they've represented the shirt with pride. They've never been beaten until the very end. 5 minutes of the last game. The character and the resilience that they've shown. Like I said, I just think tonight we didn't quite keep the ball well enough to. They had more control of the game, and I think that was probably the bit that made the difference.
This job is hugely demanding. Have you more to give? Have you more you want to give?
Look, I don't think now is a good time to make a decision like that. I've got to talk to the right people, and it's just not for now.
This team, though, a lot of this team have more to come, don't they? Young men going to the next World Cup with a lot more potential from this group of players.
Yeah, no, look, I think England are in a really good position in terms of the experiences they've got now, the age of the squad.
That's true.
Most of this squad are going to be around not only for the World Cup but the next Euros as well. So,
there's
a lot to look forward to. But that's not, this moment, that's not any consolation.
It's no consolation. Gareth, thank you very much. Commiserations, and it's been a tournament, obviously, where you say England have made their mark.
Thank you. Thanks, David.
Yeah, so there's some fair points made there from Gareth Southgate. Fundamentally, I think the root issue with England right now is that the squad has outgrown Gareth Southgate. So Gareth Southgate is a very good manager, fair enough, and he was a good manager when England were underdogs because we could play defensive football and beat teams on the counter-attack because, he's a defensive-minded coach, so that's going to be his area of expertise. But now the squad itself it's dripping with world-class attacking talent, like Harry Kane, like Jude Bellingham, like Saka, Phil Foden. So he's not going to know how to get the little tiny nuances and build nice attacking flair and smash teams, or, be on the front foot and all that kind of thing. So I think personally, moving forward, I think Gareth Southgate's had his time. He's done an excellent job. But if the team is going to progress and take that final step, I think it needs to be with a little bit more of an attacking-minded manager. In terms of, I reiterate, in terms of the game itself, Spain played to their strengths. That's it. Their team was just set up in a way that was very well organised, and they just kept it very, very simple. I just felt as though England were just trying to be a little bit too clever at times, unfortunately, and they came undone. I don't know why he took Kobbie Mainoo off. As soon as he took Kobbie Mainoo off, we lost control of the midfield. So why did he do that? Unless he was injured or something. I haven't read anything or saw anything to suggest that he was injured. I appreciate he needed to bring on Cole Palmer, and obviously Cole Palmer scored a very good goal, but I feel as though he should maybe have taken off Foden or Bellingham. Perhaps Bellingham, because Bellingham's absolutely knackered. He's just won the Champions League and dragged that Real Madrid team to that bubble of the La Liga and the Champions League. So, and he wasn't playing well. He wasn't really having an effect on the game. So taking Jude Bellingham off would have been the right idea. Harry Kane, again, as I've mentioned before, if he'd stayed up top and he was the focal point in attack, just stayed there, because he hasn't got the pace to be bombing up and down all the place, all the pitch and all of that. So he should have stayed up top. They should have knocked it to him, and then he could have played in, say, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, or whoever. He had Saka playing at right wing back. I mean, what's that all about? Luke Shaw played well at left wing back, fair enough. Trying to stick Trent on the right, or Trippier. So it was just a little bit, I don't know what was going on at times, and it was so frustrating to watch, because the more talented players of the group just weren't being allowed to express themselves in the way that they're used to at their clubs. And again, I think that comes down to management. But anyway, we got to another final. Can't knock that. That is a good achievement. But I feel as though this was a game that England lost, not a game that Spain won necessarily. But if you disagree, it's totally up to you. Please fire some comments in there, and I'll happily respond to those if I see some interesting opinions. But anyway, thanks for watching.